I can say at this point that I have worked with Senator Moran for several years. And one of the things that has impressed me most about him, not only does Senator Moran support research, but he understands what he's talking about. And I can remember one time I approached him with a little speech that I had planned out in my head to explain to him some research that we wanted his support on and why. And he looked at me and then told me what I was about to tell him in great detail. So I appreciate his textured understanding of research, his recognition that the research that we support is important to save lives, it's important to drive the economy, it's important for the future of our nation. He has been critical in supporting research on Alzheimer's, in supporting the university to receive National Cancer Institute designation, and in so many other ways that are important to Kansas, but also important to people throughout the country, and I would say throughout the world. And for these reasons, it is my pleasure to recognize him this morning with the Champion of Science Award, Senator Moran.
The Chancellor indicated I responded to her in great detail. I will try to accept this award in much less detail. Thank you very much for the pleasure of being in front of you, and Chancellor, thank you for your kind comments. Because of my committee assignments, first of all, I'd like to recognize the importance of all scientific research. We seem often to focus on health and medical research, bioscience, bio-research, but research across the board matters greatly to our country. And my committee assignments lend themselves toward particular attention to the CDC, to NIH, to FDA, and we want to continue to make certain that those institutions receive the necessary financial support that they need. But we also need to make certain that the broad array of scientific research that occurs across our country in private and public institutions is supported by the American people and their tax dollars. I would say that there is no reason. I started as I was thinking about a comment that I might make. In good times and bad, Congress and the American people ought to support scientific research with tax dollars. Well, thank you. The part of that phrase that bothered me is, when were the good times? So in all bad times, Congress and the American people should support scientific research. It brings us together. People who care greatly about the human condition, about individuals, about compassion and care for people, as well as those who worry about every dime we spend, can reach the same conclusion. Scientific research is important and should be funded, and there should be no excuse, even in difficult financial times, fiscal times, in which we don't accomplish that goal. There is no justified excuse. Secondly, I have an interest in this topic because even before I became a senator, after the election, I was elected to the Senate in 2010, but before raising my hand to take the oath in January of 2011, I met with the Chancellor and other university and community state leaders in Kansas and said, of all the things I'd like to accomplish when the time has come for me no longer to be a public servant, is to make certain that our state is changed such that those kids from across the plains of Kansas who want to be a scientist, who have an interest in mathematics and engineering and research, have a place in our state to utilize that intellect and skill. And I think we can say this about our country because we want those same individuals, those kids from across the state of Kansas who I want to find career and opportunity in our state. We also know that we want that true for every American, that they can pursue their American dream in science, mathematics, research, engineering in the United States of America. And we're in a competition to make certain that remains true, certainly in Kansas, but equally as well in the United States of America. And finally, I would say, as a Kansan, Always great to be associated with something called Wheaties. Thank you very much.